All right, I found something. Again, this is, once again, the orthopedic surgeon, Chris Raynor. And this one in particular, orthopedic surgeon reacts to chiropractic TikTok chiropractors. Why I feel sad, Dr. Chris Raynor. Anyway, in particular, this here, I'm bringing attention to this specifically because he was leaning in the direction of actually thinking that Mondragon, who practices this frequently, was actually correct in her methods. She's not, but here we go. See what he says.
Jesus, man.
Yep.
Yeah. The two halves of the pelvis are joined in the front at the symphysis pubis. Connective tissue crosses this joint to secure it and allow both halves of the joint to maintain their relationship with one another. The connective tissue can accommodate a very small amount of stretch and movement. For the most part, it is a relatively rigid structure since the pelvis supports the spine above and the legs below. What reason there could be for adjusting the pelvis in this manner? Really, I don't know. Most forces that are going through the pelvis are doing so in a top to bottom fashion and not a side to side fashion. To be honest, a sudden impulse against a contracted muscle is a fantastic way to overload the muscle and its tendon in eccentric fashion. This is the manner in which superior labral injuries of the shoulder or slap tears happen. This technique will put you at risk of an avulsion of the adductor tendons from the pelvis, where the adductor is pulled off the bone where it attaches at the pelvis. Entirely unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Better and safer results with simple stretching. You certainly won't have to see an orthopedic surgeon afterwards.
Yeah. Exactly. So, he, in a recent video that I commented on, he was leaning in Mondragon's direction as if, because she was doing exercises, or suggesting exercises, he was implying that she knew what she's doing. She doesn't. So, what did I do? This is a 3-year-old video, but I made a comment. So, I said 9:54, and I right back to where it was. 9:54. Which, of course, takes it right back there.
Jesus, man.
So, I point out, yeah, you're right about that. And what I said was, you are so right, and in case you weren't aware, it's something that Brenda Mondragon does frequently. Now, I give a link here. The reason why I bring this to y'all's attention right now, and it is her latest video. You can go back and look at all of her stuff. She does it to everybody. But, like I said, he's doing partial, I mean, he's not completely looking at their stuff to suggest that woman knew anything at all that was accurate. He didn't look at the entirety of what she teaches or performs. Anyway, we'll get to that here in just a little bit. I said see at 1537 there, which we'll get back to that. But I go on to say, I said the reason why I mentioned this is that you recently implied that this woman might know anything useful because she suggested exercise. She also does hair and ear popping, so you might want to take a closer look at her treatment protocols. I've already torn her to shreds on those, so get in line and catch up. Please. From what I see, the woman is just plain dumb. I said, you still haven't said anything about nerve signal interference removal developed by Dr. Earl Franklin Creighton. He won their Centennial Award and then passed his unique life's research to the family after chiropractic refused to raise their standards. As his granddaughter who learned his research, I have proved to be a formidable foe of chiropractic. Still, I've actually worked on several, including but not limited to the board president in my state, Oklahoma. I also successfully defended Grandpa's research from a power grab by the chiropractic board in 2008. If you want to make a real difference in the manual therapies, then you need to investigate nerve signal interference removal. And you should know that Raheem and others who are speaking about removing interference from the nervous system don't actually understand how to accomplish what they're talking about. Apparently, they have looked in on my website, at least, and you should do the same. So, I did make sure, and I expect this comment to disappear because of this link, but we'll go ahead and follow it. I said, you are so right. And in case you weren't aware, it's something that Brenda Mondragon does frequently. Look at 1537 there.
Symphysis. So it's
1537.
So it's like right above the groin area.
Yep.
Okay.
So here we go.
The groin area, but it's right above.
She's talking about leading
My
into it.
hands stay
1514.
here, but it's to open up that joint right there.
This woman is so fucking crazy.
We're okay with that. I'm just. People are like,
What did he say?
It
It could very well rip the tendon off of the bone.
What you think? Okay. It's just.
But here we go. She's
It's the front
this is a
part.
this is a chiropractor that he
Press up against my arms.
implied knew what she was doing.
More. That's it. Good. Now squeeze my hands. Perfect. There it is.
Oh wow.
I got one side.
Yeah, I felt it.
Yep.
She's
I
gonna
got
come
one.
back
I'm
to
gonna
it
try to
again.
do the other one.
Okay.
Squeeze. More. No, that's it.
That one's tight.
See, test it
So
out.
she
and see how it
risks
feels.
ripping the tendon off of the
Now the
bone.
chest, that was the other thing.
She does it all the time. All the time. But she does it to get a pop.
Yeah.
Fibromyalgia gets the hardest back cracks of her life. Full body pops, head to toes.
How did I do
3
on the
weeks
trigger
ago.
point?
Good.
Don't think it'll flare up too much.
This woman's a fucking idiot.
I think I'll be like sore, but that's
She's fucking crazy, and I have talked
This
to her
baby cannot
before.
stand, crawl, or walk. Their spine sees the lowest amount of load or stress possible when it is in a supine or prone position. The load experienced
Go
in this
back one
position
more
is
time.
3 times less than when side lying and 4 times less.
954.
Jesus,
same thing.
man. Yeah. The two
more
halves
time.
of the pelvis are joined in the front at the symphysis pubis. Connective tissue crosses
He's right
this
about
joint
this.
to secure it and allow both halves of the joint to maintain their relationship with one another. The connective tissue can accommodate a very small amount of stretch and movement. For the most part, it is a relatively rigid structure since the pelvis supports the spine above and the legs below. What reason there could be for adjusting the pelvis in this manner? Really, I don't know. Most forces that are going through the pelvis are doing so in a top to bottom fashion and not a side to side fashion. To be honest, a sudden impulse against a contracted muscle is a fantastic way to overload the muscle and its tendon in eccentric fashion. This is the manner in which superior labral injuries of the shoulder or slap tears happen. This technique will put you at risk of an avulsion of the adductor tendons from the pelvis, where the adductor is pulled off the bone where it attaches at the pelvis. Entirely unnecessary.
Entirely.
Better and safer results with simple stretching. You certainly won't have to see an
Entirely
orthopedic
results.
surgeon afterwards.
Yep. So, Chris, one more time, I'm talking to you. You need to do a little bit more research. Yeah, I appreciate the fact that you're doing anything about the chiropractors at all, but I will say, or I have to question whether or not it's just for sensationalism and views. I suppose somebody's actually encouraging you and asking you to do reviews because, you know, somebody needs to. But I'm telling you honestly, somebody needs to on my work, my grandfather's work, and I think you would be the one to actually see the validity of it. Another medical doctor, surgeon, one of your camp actually saw the validity of what I was doing in a very short period of time. So it's not chiropractic. And Raheem, well, you done a video on him recently. He's talking about taking stress off the nervous system. They might talk about it, but they don't know how to actually accomplish it. That is what I do, and I have a whole website that addresses it, and my YouTube channel and TikTok account and that kind of stuff. You really need to look into it. So anyway, I wanted to share with the world before this video or this comment disappears, because I anticipate that it will, because I don't think that he actually encourages, scientific dialogue. I'll watch it and find out. If it stays, then he does. If he doesn't, then, if it goes away, then, he doesn't. So, give me a moment. I'll find another comment that I made. It was actually 3 years ago. Hang on. Yeah, this is what I'd said 3 years ago. This is probably the first time I contacted him. I said, "Good job, Doc." I said, "Would love to share my knowledge base with you. I'm not a doctor, but I've worked on several and represent the unique life's research of Dr. Earl Franklin Creighton, or Dr. Earl Creighton, Tammy Kennedy." And let's see what the Read More says. The one, the only certified nerve signal interference specialist. Yeah. So, from 3 years ago, he's had a chance to look at it. I know that his, attitude did change a little bit when he was talking about the I'll see, on Raheem. He kind of, wasn't quite so cocky. But if the man, now we're going to find out what the man's true intentions are. We're going to find out what his true intentions are. If it's just for, clickbait or whatever you want to call it, sensationalism and views, then he's not going to say anything about what I've got, because what I've got is valid, and he'd be able to see it, as anybody who can think straight. But I'm disappointed in the man that he actually suggested that Mondragon might actually know anything, when, as I just got through pointing out, he's lacking in his exploration of what she does. If he's not going to catch the fact that she's going to risk her patient's well-being by doing the very maneuver that he just got through saying, what the fuck. So, anyway.